All right. Well, thank you everyone for stopping by. Um, this is episode 7 of Getting Better with Bitters. Or getting a bit better with bitters. Um, all right. Let's see. Sorry about last week not streaming. Wasn't feeling very well. Actually, still not feeling like 100%, but good enough. Whatever. Um, all right. So, um, don't have too many questions that I haven't answered just directly to people. Um, with some of like the smaller things that I've gotten throughout the week. Um, I have one kind of longer one that I want to work on. Um, and I also wanted to go over some gameplay footage that we did. I think it was this week, our heroic clear. Um, on I think it was Tuesday, maybe. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was this week on Tuesday. Uh, I just wanted to go over like some of the things that I was doing to just like maximize DPS and that sort of stuff. But just some ideas of different things that some people might not be aware of. Um, but yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. So first up, I guess I will start working on this question here. All right, I'm gonna put it on double browser mode. It's gonna be a duplicate of the same thing, but yeah. Okay. All right. So this question's massive, so I just have it pulled up here. All right. So the question is from Felshade, um, Felshade TV. All right. So he had a question that reads: Recently, I've started using an Innervate Weak Aura, and link to the Weak Aura that will pop up an alert as well as make raid frame slash party frames glow when someone whispers Innervate or in to my druid. While the common practice is to just whisper at the druid macro for the healer, I am thinking that we can make a new weak aura based on healer mana percent that can send a whisper to specific druids for raid as well as for Mythic Plus. I have recently been running with Double Moonkin as Resto, which is great, but sometimes we overlap innervates, and I'd prefer to separate it out. A bonus is that in raid we typically have 3 to 4 Moonkins all dropping innervates on either L or Naz, so this way we might save some time and overlap. Alright, so I currently use this weak aura to track mana for healers. Like that. My idea is to either modify or probably make a new one that tracks a mana pool and can be set to send Whisper, whatever druid, innervate at specified percentages. For example, L can have it set up to Whisper Port's innervate when her mana reaches 80%, and Whisper Edrum's innervate when her mana reaches 70%. Similar idea in Mythic Plus, where I can take the same weaker and have it whisper Rootinks at 80% mana and whisper another or self when mana is under 60%. For Mythic Plus purposes, I'd then set the 60% to whisper Shred and Shade myself, which would then trigger the Innervate weak or reminding me to Innervate myself, since Ruse or the other Moonkins are on CD already. Could even take it one step further and have a final whisper for the tank and or yell at 25% mana that says something like, don't pull, need mana. Sorry for the long request. I wanted to be as detailed as possible, and as I've tried, and can't determine where to start to modify the weak aura that I have. I'm usually able to modify our weak auras, but have a hard time understanding how to create specific ones like this. Love you better. Alright. Alright, so that was a lot. But I'm gonna break it down. So, the idea is well, right, so he's actually alright. So right now he's using this sweeper. That um um like on a whisper it tells the druid to innervate that person that whispered them, basically. So like on his like raid frame, um, it'll flow and will say to innervate, or like if that person whispered him, it'll like if Krez or Druid whispers Fellshade on Fellshade's raid frame, Krez or Druid's name will glow and he'll know to innervate him. And then when he does, when he gets the whisper, the icon pops up, and when he actually innervates, I believe the bar starts channeling. That's how I believe the weaver is set up, at least. I haven't actually tested it yet. Alright, so that's the idea. That's what he has right now. What he's looking to do is make it so that it's kind of automated at certain health percentages. Certain mana percentages. So, he's thinking that, like, as soon as Krez, Druid, or whoever gets 80% mana, he'll automatically get a notification to innervate that person. What I'm reading here, at least. Alright, so, first off, this, in a general idea, I believe something like this can be done, but in a general idea, it might not be optimal to do it at a specific percentage like that, just because of how, like if you're trying to maximize mana efficiency, you really want to innervate like when you're going to be applying that burst of mana output, when you're going to be using all your mana. So like for a druid, like when you start, you want to make sure you can get like the efflorescence and like wild growth off during that innervate window or whatever. But yeah, you can, if you get the innervate, you have a long enough time to fit the spells in, the desired spells in that you want. But also, like, what if that 80% mark happens to come in like a part of the fight that is like a lull in damage, and all you're doing is just like putting out, some random hots, or that you happen to be at like 81% mana, and then like you start DPSing for a few seconds, and then like you're not really doing that much, not really using that much mana, and you have like innervate rolling on you. You might just lead to a lot of overhealing during that innervate usage. So I think in general the whisper macros are a better idea, just because it's more on demand to be appropriate for when it's actually needed. I think ideally, using a weak core or something like this, that pops up and makes it super obvious, makes like a glow on your raid frame and all that sort of stuff. I think that's probably the best way to handle it. Maybe even like a noise, some sort of like noise notification type thing, just so that you don't miss it as the druid who is providing the interface. However, like if innervates are getting wasted, then this is at least still a way to use them. And if you have like a lot of druids, like in the Mythic Plus thing, using them at certain percentages is probably going to be okay, at least some of the time. Again, I still think in general, using them when requested is going to be better. But I'm still going to make the weak aura. or at least something like it, um, just to show how something like this could be done. Um, Something else kind of similar to this could be like at a certain health percentage calling for like an external or something like that, or like even like a certain health percentage like popping up a notifier to use your health stone or some sort of personal that you have. Um, could be another similar weak aura to this. Again, even in those cases, like it's really better to know like I guess the um, just to know the fight. Like you might be at 20% health, but there could be like no sources of raid damage going out as a raider for like the next 10 seconds, and you're probably fine to not use your your health stone or something like that, and to save it for like a more vital moment, like if healers are going to be able to top you up during that time. Um, but again, it's just an idea, the proof of concept type thing. All right, so right, so I am going to start off with something new. So, all right, I'm going to start off with dynamic group. I'm going to toss, I think, going to take several auras in here, but if not, find out. What are we going to call this? Innervate thingy. All right. So, all right, now we're going to start needing to make some auras. Trying to decide if I want to do it as text or icon. Let's go with text. All right. All right. I'm gonna make a new text. All right. Let's call this 80% mana. Let's call it 80% mana. All right. So some of the things that we're gonna want within this. Under triggers, status, power, what I was trying to think, did he want it as he like trying to think of what would be like the best way to do this, because like you could right, it's like if you have it set up as like a specific target, which I think is what the intent here is that he's trying to do, because I mean if you have multiple like yeah, all right, so you have two druids and they're um if they're both going to all right, say you have two druids and I don't know, five healers. If there's only one target that is getting the innervates, then like it's going to be the same as like if you're going to have like the set percentages for them, then you're going to have to like specify that healer that you're looking at. If you were just going to innervate a random healer, um, like the first one to get to 80% mana or something like that, I don't think that would really be useful, just because again, it like you really want the target of it of the innervate to know that they're getting it. Um, and again, really they should know that they're wanting to get it. Like they should be the one like requesting the innervate really. But I'm just gonna go with mhm, hmm. All right, I'm gonna do it the specific unit way. Second. Do a little testing with this. Okay. Let's fly down to the dock so I can test this real quick.
Greetings. Go.
All right. So I'm gonna use Selexi as the test for this real quick. All right. So power, um, type, mana, um, 4%. I have a trigger at. All right. Well, we don't want it at exactly, so we're gonna want it at, I guess, less than or 80%. Here, second. Sort of display flow. Thingy, 80. A little bigger, so it's easy to see. All right. Yeah, I guess it's actually currently active. Oh, all right. Goes away. All right. So as a quick, easy way to test, even though it wasn't intentional. But yeah, all right. So under 80% health, um, thingy appeared. So like, yeah, all right. So it has appeared. Okay. All right. So now we need to have it actually doing some things. Can Aw has a question. Can BM hunters do 18 underrun? They can in about an hour. They can if that works. All right. All right. So let's see some other things to make happen on this. All right. So this I guess this is like the most basic thing, just getting the ore to pop up at 80%. Now, obviously, we'd have to make several of them for whatever thresholds you want to have it pop up. Like Felshade mentioned, like 80%, 70%, 60%, or something like that. Um, so that's just getting this to pop up, like this first trigger, just to make it active. But we're gonna want several things here. So another thing that we're gonna want to have active is um, status on progress. Actually, all right, I'm gonna have to do something else. Right? No. All right, yeah, I can still do it. We're setting this up at least. All right. Ah, no, all right. I'm gonna switch to my druid. Yeah, it's just gonna make it easier instead of having to use like a placeholder spell and then switching classes and testing it. Yes. See who that was. Um. Uh. Casey Co-Raptors. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Thank you for the follow. All right. So let's see. Innervate thingy. All right. Since I'm actually on the druid now, so make this easier to test. All right. Trigger. Use myself here. All right. All right. So I have the first trigger. Again, still checking specific unit. Just using myself as the target now. but then added a second trigger. This is the one where I'm going to check the cooldown of Innervate. So I'm going to get the spell ID. On my tooltips, on like the bottom left of the tooltip, it has the spell IDs on it. Um, it's an add-on thing, but you can just look it up on Wowhead as well. I just end up checking spell IDs pretty often, so I actually just have it on my default tooltips. Alright, so it is 29,166 for Innervate. Alright, so I have the spell ID in. Alright. So I have it on not on cooldown. I have to destroy some mana. Alright, so I'm under 80% mana. And it's showing up because right now I have this second trigger is that Innervate is not on cooldown, which is not. So if I'm under 80% mana and Innervate's on cooldown, so even if I don't use it on me, use it on Alexia, I'm still under 80% mana, but now that's not going to show up. Now the reason we don't want this is we don't want this to trigger like constantly over and over, while so if we're getting to like the thing to eventually this is working up to all right, so we're gonna whisper someone to um to like to trigger this or whatever. We're not going to want it to be weak or to technically constantly be active like every frame or whatever while you're under 80 while the target's under 80% mana. So at least by having when Innervate is on cooldown, like that's cutting out a big chunk of that time where um, if we've just innervated them, obviously we won't be able to innervate them again, even if they're under 80%. So it'll break that. It'll break that off there. So that's the second big trigger that we're gonna want here. So um, for this to pop up, like for whatever our weaker is gonna do, we want it to be the target's under 80% mana, and our innervate is not on cooldown. All right, so that's trigger part two. All right. Hmm. Now, all right. Technically, I guess a number three. Auras unit, and here we would again technically want the same specific unit. Letters. I think. All right. So now the third thing that we're going to check is we want to make sure the target doesn't already have an innervate on them, because if they have an innervate on them, you don't want to put another one on them. It's just overlapping and being wasted. It's not like the old innervate that just constantly gave you mana back. This is a buff that during that window everything is free. So that's going to be the third requirement here that we're going to need to make sure is true. Um, so again, first one is I'll change the order here. These little arrows just change the order of the triggers. It keeps them the same, but all right. So first one is the target of our innervate has to be under 80% of their power type, so under 80% mana. Second trigger is they cannot have innervate active on them as a buff. Wait, actually, hold on. To switch this to aura missing. All right, so we we do not want them to have innervate on them. So this trigger is only triggered when they do not have innervate or missing for innervate, right? And part three is our innervate that we're going to be using on that target is not on cooldown. Not on cooldown right here. All right. So those three things being true. All right. Now, if we wanted to um, do some other type of action here, like say we wanted to, whisper the target when we're innervating them or something like that, um, or some other type of message. You can do like chat messages, um, or whisper target, or there's a lot of different things that you can, obviously you can customize that here. But easiest thing, I'll just do uh, message. Um, no, all right, this would be a bad example here. All right. Hmm. All right, we wouldn't want to whisper to innervate on the same one, so we'd want to save that in the actual use of innervate. So we wouldn't really want to do that. Um, but what we could do something like this for, let's say that I'm going to duplicate this and 25%. All right, let's say we had another aura that we wanted to uh, like whisper, like he mentioned something that like does a yell or whispers a tank, or notifies the group basically that you have low mana. So that's kind of what I'm going to modify this to real quick, because this one is pretty simple. Here, I'm just changing the power to 25%. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this yet, just because I don't want anyone to get confused with what I'm doing on the other one. All right. Um. Oh yeah, and I was going to do these on Alexia just so it. Let's do that again, just to keep it consistent, I guess. All right. So when Alexia, the healer over there, gets to under 80% power, under 80% mana, that trigger will be true. Um, when Alexia does not have Innervate, that trigger will be true. And when this is going to default to self here, when my Innervate is not on cooldown, this trigger will be true. All right, so that's going to cover that that first chunk of things. All right, so I'm gonna read over through his question again and see what else he wanted to do with this. No, Fellowship, it's fine. All right. All right. So trying to think of. All right. So hmm, check something real quick. All right, let me add a trigger to test something. All right. Trying to think of a not super complex way to do this. Um, so from going back to like the beginning, like base thing that Felshade here had here was, um, I guess from the point of view of this would be a weaker that the healer had that would whisper the druid to notify them that the healer wanted the weak, wanted the innervate. All right. So I'm gonna adjust what I have now and switch this up to that because I was actually going at it from like a different point of view. But I'm gonna switch this. Right. So I'm gonna switch this to player. So now I'm looking at if I, as say the healer, it doesn't matter that I'm actually the druid, but so if I'm the healer and I want innervate when I get to 80% mana, do that. Um, I want to make sure I don't have already. Right, make sure I do not already have innervate. So that part's still true. All right, and now this cooldown part. All right, so I know it could be done in custom code, but I'm not sure how to code that. Um, you would have to be able to um, like iterate through the group to find the classes to get like a list of druids and then um, have some sort of way to do it like in order automatically, which I'm sure is possible. Like asking in the WeakWars Discord would probably be able to get that. But I'm gonna try and do something a bit more simple, just to do it for like if you're just trying to do it for specific targets that you already know who they're going to be. Um, I'm gonna do it that way because otherwise it's gonna get really complicated. All right. Yeah, all right. You're just planning for the specific druid anyway. All right. gonna try and look at this from doing it this way. I'm not sure if this is going to work for what I'm trying to do. Um, just because I don't want this to take forever getting mana each time. Have this trigger be like 95% mana or something. All right, so think about how to get this to work right. All right. Because right now, all right. So the issue that I have that I'm trying to work around here is that the thing that I was talking about with like the innervate cooldown. You don't want it to just be constantly triggering. Like if I'm going to be whispering the druid or whatever, based on all the triggers in this Uyghur being true, to like request the innervate. I don't want it um, to basically I don't want it to um, just constantly trigger that to trigger the whisper. Um, let's see if I can edit it from the other Uyghur. let's try and skip that part for right now. I'm running a couple of different things through my head. All right, so I was thinking like if I just have the two triggers and I'm basically just checking for those, I could add a condition um, to basically adding a condition to see um, to basically. All right, well, I would have the third trigger, but I wouldn't have that one be required in the activation of checking to see. Um, Back to it, combat log. Um, if there was a cast success of innervate. Oh, specific name. All right. So basically, I was looking to see just having triggers 1 and 2 be required for the weak aura to trigger, and then having the condition of whispering based on if trigger 3 was also true. Um, I don't really like that either. I'm gonna try looking at getting it just to work just based on the first two. Right now, just easily just being under whatever mana percentage that we're checking for, and um, then also not having innervate already. Gonna, um, so, all right, so if I am under whatever mana and I do not have innervate on me, this should trigger and send the chat message. Right now, this is not going to be a very good weak aura because, like I said, it's going to keep triggering. Um, it's just going to keep displaying um, each time this basically triggers. So, like, as soon as I go underneath that 95% mana, it's going to whisper. Then, if I go above it, say, like, if I went, like, just my mana regens for a second and then I hop under it again, it's going to whisper again. But I'll show that. Right, under it, whispered again. As soon as I go, every time I go underneath that mana percent, um, it's gonna whisper. So, like I said, that's not going to work out very well. Um, hmm, I think I would have to do like a custom event looking specifically for that target's cast. Um, Gotta be a better way to do that though. I could do something like throttling like the chat messages. Um, Maybe something like that would work. All right. Oh, let's see. Something that I know announces. Uh, all right. So like this is like the say thing that you'd use. This is just like a template for like a say. They could have it trigger like every 1.5 seconds. Um, right now this will like say the player's name um, if the first trigger for the weak aura is true. Um, so like I could modify this to instead of being like say, it could be like a whispered message to the player. I still don't want it to be too spammy. Have to look up real quick. Yeah. Um, so I just pulled up like the WoW API for sending a chat message. So this is um, maybe if I had this like every 10 seconds. Hopefully, if you're under for more than 10 seconds, it seems a bit more reasonable. Um, I just have to check something in the triggers real quick. The proper way to do the second trigger. All right, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Uh, back to this. All right. All right. So now it has these previous requirements. It's basically the last say has to be not within 10 seconds. And now I'm having it look for uh, weak aura trigger 1 and weak aura trigger 2 being true. Then if all of that's true, then it's going to do this send chat message of innervate me, whispering to Selexia. Right, so that's what I have it set as at the moment. See if this works. Haven't tested this before, but let's see if it works. All right. All right. So whisper to innervate me. All right, that is correct. That's what we wanted. Now it shouldn't do it again once it's been 10 seconds. Oh wait, hold on. I have the other part of it open. So, get rid of that chat message. All right, try that again. Looks like it's working right though. All right, so it's been over 10 seconds. All right, so innervate me. All right, innervate me. All right, there we go. So that's the first time it popped up. Didn't re-whisper because it hasn't been 10 seconds. Still hasn't been 10 seconds. There. All right, so yeah, from 19 to 29, 10 seconds. Perfect. All right, so that's working right to throttle the chat message. All right. So if we had that at 80%, if we had the trigger at 80% mana instead, that'd be more reasonable. Obviously, than 95% mana. Um, Trying to think of what other things we might want for this question. I guess that's really it. Like that's going to do what was requested here. Obviously, you'd have to make several of them. Um, like you'd have to have several of these, and like you could just duplicate this or whatever. Um, and obviously, you could get rid of the display to just not have any words, and it would just be basically the whispering message. I was just having that pop up just as visual to test this. Um, but yeah, so adjust these for whatever percent you would want. So power 80%. Um, you would still want this part to make sure that you don't already have innervate on you, so it wouldn't whisper again. And then in this part, you'd have to customize whoever you're at, like the name of the druid that you're going to be whispering would be in here. And again, you could adjust the time um, however you would want there as well. I think 10 seconds is probably good. Um, but I guess this is the closest thing to be an easy way to do kind of what you're asking about there. Um, again, you could, I'm sure it could be done a lot more complex, but it would take a lot of custom coding. Because like I said, I think you'd have to iterate through like all the group members to get like a list of druids, um, and to be able to track their innervate cooldowns would be like the ideal way to do it, so that you, when you whispered someone, or sorry, that it wouldn't whisper someone unless their innervate was not on cooldown. Which the only way to do that would be like tracking the combat log. So that might be that'd be a, I I guess, an optimal way to do it, but it would be a lot um, more resource intensive, I guess. Um, so I guess the middle part of this question, real quick, was just doing like a yell or something once you got down to a certain percent of mana. Call this mana. And this is just going to be a really quick edit of this, since we have this basically set to exactly what we want to do. So say if we got to 25% mana, um, you could just edit this to um, being something like low mana. Da, 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 um, and whisper, and then you could have the tank's name if you're going to do a whisper. Um, um, like I think that'd probably be the best way to do it. You could also do it as um, like a yell instead of doing anything with like custom text. Uh, delete all this. Um, Here would be a place where you could do like a chat message. Again, you might get an issue with like because you don't have that chat throttle thing. That's why I think like doing it in the custom text would be better. Um, but if you just want to do have the action, um, being like yell party low mana. So now, whenever this is triggered when you're under 25% mana and you don't have innervate, I guess that's irrelevant. So you wouldn't even need that trigger. So yeah, just whenever you're under 25% mana, it triggers the yell low mana in party. Um, yeah, I could do something like that. Um, yeah, I guess it really, I guess, covers that. Um, Okay. Yeah, we can. If there's something specific that you want, like I can you know link you the actual uh like custom text that I was using there. Uh, so that you can send the chat message to whoever you need to, and I can even adjust it for you to already have it set up with whatever players you wanted to whisper, and then you could just adjust it like you're saying to whoever is in your group or whatever. But I could have it, you know, so it already has like two or three people in it. Like you said, you already normally run with the two or three druids. Uh, just doing it that way, where it's just like just whispering in person though. You'll need to make sure that you're keeping track of that because otherwise it's going to whisper them also like when you're not in a group or whatever. Because I didn't set up anything like that with like load conditions to make sure that you're like in an instance or in a group. And it would also doing it like that way is also going to whisper them even if they're not in your group or something. If they're like sitting or doing a different Mythic Plus than you or something. All right. All right. I had another question from L about details. I'm not going to cover that right now though. Just because I needed to figure out a little bit more of what she was having an issue with. I have mine set up. But she was saying something about an issue like mousing over and things disappearing. I was looking through the options and I was trying to figure out exactly what it was um, that um, that was causing that to happen. I don't know if like it was getting in combat, so like the automation things. Um, I don't know if it was like something on like auto hide, um, so that like it would like fade, like the window would fade out, like on mouse over or something. That would be like on hover, like the alpha if it's like too low or something, where it like looks like it goes away. I don't have to talk to her about that and try and figure out exactly what the issue was. It was just in whispers, so I don't have a question submitted saved for that. Um, so that's all I actually really have for questions this week that I was going to go over. That again, that I hadn't already like talked to people about and pretty much covered. Uh, okay, all right, this is how I want it. All right, so this was this was our heroic raid. Um, oh yeah, I see my awesome white main. We had actually, yeah, this was Wednesday. That's when we did heroic this week. That's right. We did some Mechatwerk first. All right, let's find the end of that. Da-da-da-da. All right, right around here. All right. So this I just wanted to go over a few things that I was doing like during these fights. This is again just heroic, but I guess the concepts here mainly what I wanted to go over. A few things that I'm doing to like help make sure my DPS is staying high. Right. One thing on this fight, positioning is huge, especially for ranged, but I mean even for melee. Um, so At the beginning here, I am doing a little bit of beast cleaving, just because of the mob is being like right on top. But you'll notice that I actually don't keep it refreshed. Like I don't even bother beast cleaving anymore, just because we really actually don't want those mobs to die. But I know they're gonna die anyway, so that's why I just did it on the pull. People are gonna cleave them, but the longer they stay alive, the less damage the actual tank's taking, and the goal here is to just kill the boss. So that's what I'm actually focusing more DPS on. Now positioning wise, one of the key things that you want to do is stay close to the boss. Like the wave of lights actually don't hit you if you're in melee, um, like directly next to the boss. They actually spawn just like a few yards outside of like minimum melee range. So um, you won't get hit by it like if you're right next to it. The other thing that's important is uh, watching where the ads are casting from. Um, like see how close I was to the boss there, and like the wave should have hit me. Um, back to that real quick. Like the wave here should hit where I'm like it's going in my direction, but it doesn't hit me because I'm close enough to the boss where it doesn't actually like go on me and doesn't debuff me or anything. Um, so that's important to you, I guess, for as a the person tanking it, you want to be in like minimum melee range um, for that. Now, when the ads do come out again, we don't have an example. I don't have an example of it here, but like in Mythic when we did similar thing. Uh, if the ad is on the boss, um, I don't think it ever. Let me look at the first cast here. When the Crusader does his blind, um, it can be like really close to the boss, but like as long as the mob is still behind you, and just like when you're fighting the mob, like the boss in general, like you want to be again like real close to the boss, so that yeah, like right here, actually, good example. So um, the mob is casting, but I can just ignore him and be in front of him so that my back is to it, and still DPSing the boss, and also still close enough to the boss that the wave isn't going to hit me. Like this positioning where I'm at, like as a range, that's where all the range should have been for that. Because any other place, just about, unless you can be turned around and cast and not like use any damage from it, um, or like like if you have a spell that a cast that isn't like a doesn't require forward facing or something like that, uh, then you're going to like lose out on DPS during that. Also, you're gonna have to end up moving a lot more probably if like waves happen to come towards you. But as a hunter, for sure, definitely being there was good. Um, trash, I destroy trash. All right. Wrong. I don't think I did anything special here. Again, I try to bait like the fire. Like when I start seeing the little missile coming down, I start moving. Um, Nothing really big here though. There's, this is just like straight single target. Not much to do. I did like an interrupt. Someone else was doing cores, so I didn't have to bother doing that. Here, this actually, um, oh, all right, all right. So, said what's in chat? What's the point of having a pug all from the same realm? Just wondering, trying to get into Mythic Champs. Well, the reason for that is the most current raid zone, or raid tier, I guess technically it is. Um, you can't do cross realm raiding in it in Mythic. It's actually restricted. So like, if you try to go into a cross realm like Mythic raid, like Mythic Champs or something like that, you wouldn't be able to zone in. When they stop that, is when 100 guilds on Horde and 100 guilds on Alliance have uh, have the Hall of Fame clear. Right now, we are at. Check. Um, I know Horde is like well over it. Not sure what Alliance is at. Yeah, Horde is at like 200 something, probably by now. Yeah, this only shows the top 100. Alliance is at 47, so it's gonna be a while still um, before they get it. Let's see. That's been over like 2 months. We're up to 47, so I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be another 2 months, month and a half, something like that, before they get to 100. Um, yeah, once that happens, then Battle of Desire Lore will be open on all for cross faction or not sorry, not cross realm, cross faction raids. That'd be crazy. All right, let's see. Anything interesting here? I mean, there's some hunter specific things that I did here. I guess I'll mention them. Um, because especially as BM Hunter, this fight really sucks. Uh, because like I need to refresh my or my frenzy, but if I'm in the cloud and like I hit the living bomb and my pet isn't inside the cloud yet, or is like even at the border of the cloud, it's really stupid. Um, it'll use my barb shot charge, but the buff doesn't go on my pet because the buff doesn't can't jump throughout the realms, or not throughout the realms, but like throughout the different zones. So I actually make sure I stay out a little bit longer to refresh my buff on one of these ads, and it just ends up taking a little bit longer to switch. I missed it that first time, but on the other ones I get it. Like I actually um, cast it there, but it doesn't refresh. That's why I'm a little bit slow to getting into this one. I refreshed it there, and then by the time my pet gets over there, uh, it actually can start refreshing it. That's why like it's really important for the tanks to actually pull the bosses into the cloud because like the pet can get like if the boss is at the edge of the cloud, like the pet can charge the boss at the edge of the cloud, and then when everything's pulled inside, it can like start DPSing faster. But I mean, it goes just rough. Doesn't really matter. Um, Maze just took the gateway. Handy dandy. You can actually beast cleave these if your pet is at like the exact right spot, but it's really hard to get it to actually work. Um, it's not consistent at all, so I don't even try doing it anymore. But I have had beast cleave damage hit like the second barrier. I don't think on this third one. I think if the pet is hitting like the second one from the right, I think it's hit the third one from the right between like that those two spots. Um, Here on the ad, the spirit targets me, so I make sure I'm staying in melee, even though I'm taking more damage. I do my own pet stun on the ad to make sure that it isn't doing much damage to me, and then I also try to stay kind of at the edge of the clump when it's going to leap, so that it doesn't like splash the rest of the raid as much. Um, yeah, again, this short fight wasn't really anything special here. Here we like skipped trash. All right. Opulence. At the start of Opulence on the left side, if you're on the hand, it's actually good to stay outside of the room in case you get like one of the volatile charges. You can drop it off out there. Just save a little bit of room. Like on Mythic, depending on your DPS, you can even drop like Definitely the first set always outside, but you can sometimes drop the second set outside as well. Like our DPS pushes too fast to do it now. But like if you're just starting progressing on the boss, you could probably get a second one outside. But you want to make sure that you're either like right on the edge of the gate or able to start moving in right before that, because if the gate goes up, you can get locked out of the room. So just be real careful about that. But he doesn't put the gate up until he starts transitioning. Here is how to properly kite the circle. All right. So many people get this wrong, and it's so frustrating. Like even our main raid, like someone will get like the fire like up here in this top right corner, and it will end up like kiting it in a whole line, like all the way over to here or something. So if fire spawns under you, so you're gonna see it spawn under me. I know 100% for sure it's gonna be on me because I'm making sure that I'm not sacked on anyone else when this happens. So all you want to do is just when it spawns under you, you want to stand outside of it and then draw a circle around it. Like run a circle around it. So see, I stand outside of it and I'm going to run a circle. That just kites it in a circle right on top of itself, and then it's gone by the time it gets to back to where it started. Easy. It's in a circle, doesn't bother 90% of the raid. In Mythic, I don't know if the timing's the same in Heroic. Probably is. I don't really remember because we pushed too fast. In Mythic, the important thing to remember, um, not on this side really, but on the other side, the guy, the hand, or sorry, the bulwark guy. Um, in his fire rooms, he always does two ground laser things, and then does uh his flames, so flames of punishment. So like you just want like when you go into a room, if I got the first one here, I know there's going to be one more. If the second one is on me as well, then I try to keep it outside of the raid as long as I can before running into melee to like get behind the boss to start dodging the flames. But if the second one is not on me, then I run right behind the boss right away because I know that the next ability is going to be, you know, dodging the flames. So you can just get into position faster that way. Um, this room in heroic, sometimes I dip into the last room just to take a little bit of damage to get my health lower, so that I can start, so I can get a little bit of the buff. But that's just for trying to parse. That's not really a big deal. Most of the parsing on this fight is in the last phase anyway. You just need people to suck killing ads, basically. Volatile charge. You, just in general, this is like almost always my position. As a range where I like standing is so that I'm in a corner, but I have like a few yards on every side of me, so that I don't ever get myself trapped. Um, but like I'll, this is like where I'm standing normally, but then when I get the charge, I take it all the way deep into the corner when I let it drop off. Uh, Flames in the flame vent room. You just have to watch the grates. Here, Hex. I have a big, super obvious um, weak row, and it has a noise thing, but I don't have that. I don't have sound playing, but anyway, it lets me know not to move. But here, if you look at the vents, or like the gates, or whatever, these first three opened up, so I'm just gonna shift to the right, so I'm out of path of the fire. And for every room that you go in, it's always the same. Um, for the vents, it's either the left or right side of the room. Um, but like while we're in this room, I just always have to be looking on this side to check the vents. You can go all the way to the gate like I did here to avoid it, but you only really want to do that on um, on the other boss that does Flames of Punishment. Doing that always is safe. Um, but on this boss as a range, you don't want to go all the way up to the gate usually in case you get volatile charge, because there's usually not enough room to like drop all three in melee there. Um, so you want Just like in case a melee gets it, they can drop theirs up there if they have to, like the opposite side that the boss is positioned, opposite corner against the gate, and then the range can drop theirs like farther back. Here, all right, so here this is the part that I do that's tricky on this fight. I actually take Emerald. Now I'm pretty sure just about everyone else took Opal, but I knew like especially in heroic there wasn't going to be much movement, so I can get real high uptime of the 30 stacks, which I'll show in a second here. Um, so for Emerald, by the way, it stacks up to 30, and each stack is 1% damage. Um, and then every time you move, stacks start dropping off faster, and then build up again when you're stationary. Um, but everyone else goes with Opal, which is going to give them like it's 2% damage for every stack, so they're going to have. And there's no switching between the rooms in heroic like there is in mythic, so it's only going to be 2% until you get to the last boss, and then the first like 30 seconds on the last boss or whatever, you'll have one more stack, so you'll be at 4% damage. And then you'll have the first wave of ads spawn. There's 8 ads. So then you'll be at 10 stacks, so you'll be at 20% damage. Then a minute after that, the next set of ads spawns, which will give you another 16%, so you'll be at 36% damage. Now, the point that we were at 36 damage on this kill, that was, I think it was 11 seconds before we killed the boss. So, except for the last 11 seconds of this fight, I was like getting at least, depending on, um, you know, my stacks at the time, but I was almost always at 30% damage increase compared to everyone else's, like uh, somewhere between 2 and 20% damage. So that's why Emerald ends up working out a lot better. But now when I get this Emerald, like I'm gonna stay as stationary as I can to build up stacks. Um, kind of causes like a little bit of crappy camera angle, but all I had to do was just make sure volatile charge wasn't on me. Um, so as we go to transition, I disengage and just try to get in far enough that like I don't try to run up all the way to the boss because that would have just caused me to lose more stacks. So I just get inside the room and I know that I want to start working my way over to the right. So each like here I happen to get charge and like as it's going to expire, then I start moving out just to the edge of it. But I'm going towards the direction that I need to go um, each time that I make a movement here. Like here, you're going to see me go again a little bit closer to the gate, and then just stop moving. And then as we kill the boss, then that's going to be like the last movement. We're going to run down the hall. But doing this, I'm at least keeping my stacks up higher. There, um, I was worried about getting hit by the crush, so I disengaged as well, like towards the gate. But I always wanted to like keep my stacks as high as I could, so I always went in the direction that I wanted to go. After we kill this here, gonna cheetah and try and run to cut down as many stacks as possible. It's still gonna go down to basically nothing, so it's irrelevant. So I just decided to go get all the way into position. Here I happen to get the first coin shower on me. Now, because it's heroic, like I could have turtled it, but because it's the first coin shower, and the boss isn't buffed from Will of Greed, like I know the raid is going to be able to survive it easily, so I don't bother taking it out. Um, I can see people only drop to like 75% health there, and we already had cooldowns running like before I even decided to take it in the group. But that's the only reason I didn't move out there. Um, because I wanted, if I would have moved out there, um, can I do a cartwheel? I could. Um, because I didn't move out there, like that let me have all the stacks that I wanted to for this first ad spawn. All right. Now setting up for this ad spawn, like I wanted to make sure that I had just cast like barb shot to get my frenzy stacks max. So you'll see here I beat Tricky, who's actually talking in chat right now. Like I end up pulling ahead of him right on this first pack, just because of like how much AoE I end up doing. And I use all of my cooldowns on this first stack, or on this first pack, because I know that I'm going to be able to get another set in, um, just before we kill the boss. Well, I was predicting that I would be able to at least. Um, I actually didn't have the rapid reload trait for this, which would have let me burst down the next set of ads better, but I don't think my overall damage would have been as good. But I might try that next week to see um, how that would go if we do heroic again. Blah blah blah. DPSing. Here I actually do move because that circle's really close, and I just didn't want to risk getting clipped by it and dying. So I end up losing 2 stacks moving there. Um, so here I don't have Aspect of the Wild again, but I have Feast of Wrath again at least. So I hold it. Um, but this point, right from here on, is like the only part that the Opal people ever did more damage than me. But like, I'm still so far ahead of them. And the boss is like so close to dying that it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm still doing a lot of damage, just not. I'm only doing 30% instead of 36%. If you didn't know, always lust when you go to loot these trash piles because it makes your dig for treasure cast faster, so you can click more gold piles. And I always try to go for clumps of gold piles so I don't have to move in between. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely don't use it for the boss. I mean, who cares about bosses? A bunch of random trash. Blah blah blah. This boss real quick. I'm making sure I'm doing like my pet dispels, get rid of the boss's buff. All right, so this week or I'm gonna show it's gonna show a purple line to the ad that's fixating me. I just wanted to point this out. I could link this as well, chat, but it's really helpful in fixate things. Makes it really obvious where things are coming from. It draws that pink line from like their nameplate to you. Um, Here I'm trying to whenever ad spawn make sure that um, um, trying to make sure that like I start DPSing the nearby one, but that's mainly because I'm trying to let the ranged ones get a bit closer before I send my pet to stun them. Yeah, obviously just make sure you're dodging the circle. Um, anything else special with this? Obviously, just making sure that you're keeping up, like as a hunter, at least keeping up basically. I always try to stand further away so I'm pre-positioned. If I get Plague of Fire like, all the time, so I don't have to move for that. As we're about to go down, making sure you're standing next to the circle. If you can have a gateway, that's helpful to get ported to like where you need to go. We kind of did like the mythic strat of placing the doors, but we don't. We push too fast to actually have them all out, so they're not really helpful. I could torque real quick. Again, just always try and stand in the middle of the boat. Usually the least movement there. Sea storms dropping on the outside. That's pretty obvious. Um, I ended up switching over to the other boat only because like I knew I'd get a couple attacks off because they were like 11% or something like that. When this first sea swell goes out, always wait to soak this or like this for the sea swell to spawn before you start going over to soak. Um, you can still make it if you're using like a teleport type thing. Special here. Jaina real quick. I don't think there's anything special in the first phase. I'll show the transition real quick because I don't think a lot of people know exactly how to not get frozen. So I just want to show that real quick. Um, a lot of people are really bad at it. All right, so when you go to transition here, always run at the left. By the time you get to the second path, second tornado, it'll be moving over. I have tracking on, so I can see where the boss, where Jane is going to be up in my map there. So I'm heading over there. I also actually have a weak aura that whenever this transition starts, when I have the howling winds on me, it lowers my weather density to 0, so it makes it a little bit easier to see. But anyway, so again, just dodge tornadoes. Even though I could see like Jaina's nameplate from here, she's actually out of line of sight because you have to be within, I think it's 10 yards to be able to interact with any targets, whether it's healing or DPS, uh, while you have howling winds. So I have to wait all the way up until here to be able to interrupt, like that distance. That, and then obviously the little balls keep going, so keep dodging those. Um, and I have this huge bar to show the buff of like when it's going to explode, so I stay in it until the last second before moving out. I also have something that shows if it has a red icon over the barrel, that means it's exploded. Um, it's like vulnerable already. If it's blue, that means it still needs to be broken. So I go over to this one instead. I know the other one's already done. Otherwise, I would have prioritized that one since it's the next one we kill. Here, I'm making sure I'm positioned between like going towards the next barrel already. If you didn't know, like while these barrel, like if you're inside of a barrel, like you can run over the frost patches without any, like it doesn't do anything at all to you. Standing in the frost just makes you gain stacks faster, but while you have warmth, you're immune to stacks, so you're not actually taking any more damage, like running through the blue stuff. So you can pretend like it isn't there if you're in a barrel. So I know again, I already know the other one's vulnerable, so there's no need to drop it on there. Um, we push, keep guessing the wall. We'll go up here. I always try to. I have like a thing that pops up like if I'm targeted, uh, which means I know I'm going to get Heart of Frost on me. So that's why I stand up to the edge. This is showing the duration of my Heart of Frost, and it turns red if someone's too close to me. Stays green if I'm safe. Blah, blah, blah. Keep going down. Get to the boss. Interrupt it. Um, Now here, our strat is to have everyone except for group one soak this first frost orb, which you do that, and then group one people stay outside. Drop that off. Tank gets blocked, and we have a ad spawn. Glacial raid, we dodge. All the rest of the raid goes and stacks in it, and we lust during this. Burn the boss, then break out as many ice blocks as we can. These people that are getting blocked here want to try to not get hit by as many crystals as possible, like that first one right there. since it was already going this direction, like it was just gonna kill people. Uh, like that were getting blocked up at that time. It was just like bad timing to do that. Alright, broke the blocks. Kill the boss. Leaving. I don't think there's anything else special. Alright, yeah, we just go boss. Alright, yeah, so nothing super special on that, but yeah, so I think that is going to be it for tonight. Um, thank you for watching. If there was anything interesting that you liked or anything that you want to know more about, just let me know. Um, I think that's going to be the end of the episode. So, again, thank you very much. If you have any more questions, feel free to type submit in chat um, and fill out a little form, and I will answer them next week. Yeah, have a good night, everyone. However, if you want to stick around, feel free to do so. I guess we are going to be doing Underrot 18. I think? Yeah. All right. I'm logging on now.
This.
That's not true, actually.
Hi.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as one line.
So about that cartwheel bidders.
Tricky said he'd donate $100 Canadian. See a cartwheel. I kept spamming to send people over better.
Oh, well, thanks.
It's crazy like how quick you can get people affiliate like in this, because like Crick, for example, I got affiliate instantly. All you had to do was stream a couple more days. But like all you got to do is host somebody and they get affiliate. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in. It's just looking like a your channel and everyone's channel. Everyone has sub I was on the front page of Raider.io the other night. That shit was nice.
Oh, yeah, I saw that in Discord. That was cool.
Yeah, I was like thinking Streamlabs was bugged because it went from like my normal 20 or 30 to like 190. I was like, what? This ain't right. And I was like, oh wait, somebody's like, you're on the front page of Raider.io. Apparently, what had happened, I got like an employee or somebody who helps run the site won one of our raffles, or we just ran him through a key, and he submitted me to be in the loop or whatever. So that was cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, fuck. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna refood bomb. Oh, I forgot Fell does those things when we're in a group too. Want to hit the scrolls and it's already in effect.
Yeah, it's habit because I have the scrolls next to my augment rune and food.
Yeah, I go through like a good 50 to 100 a week at the pace I run dungeons now. Alright, Tricky, get ready.
Five, four, three.
Alright, we'll do the slug and the chick. We're gonna skip the ticks, kill 2 packs, and then we're gonna go stealth by the shitty pole.
Find the source of the rot and destroy it. Guard yourselves. Who knows what lurks in these caves?
Beware.
War cry.
Beware.
Was out of range of it.
Beware.
It's a coolie though.
Purge. Purge. Beware.
I wonder what the range on the cleave is, because it was at least like 8 yards away.
War cry.
Purge.
One should be 8.5 yards.
Remember, don't aggro anything. Reflecting.
What the fuck are these nuts?
They hurt.
Yeah.
Pandering, it wouldn't hurt you so much. Hug the left. Reflect.
War cry.
Purge.
Holy Avenger.
Institution. Dark reconstitution.
Beware.
Spirit land. Darkness. War cry.
Purge.
War cry.
Purge. Beware.
War cry.
They have so much health. Mount up and we're gonna skip.
3, 2, 1.
Shroud.
I'm gonna reflect the first, I'll get the second. Bitters will interrupt the ad. 1 and 3.
Time for a sacrifice. Bloodlust.
Beware.
We got this next one.
Bloodfall.
Fell's got night.
Blood healing. Bloodfall. Evangel.
We got boss neck.
Bloodfall.
Beware.
Watch your feet.
Bloodfall.
I got both.
Blood healing.
Get somebody get me.
Beware.
Bloodfall.
Beware.
I've got the next two.
Bloodfall.
Reflecting the next one.
Bloodfall.
I did 400k. That's so busted.
I'll CC when I get.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna CC the Mega.
And I have
Oh, I
EBM on
just
still.
said faggot. I'm pulling these. She called me a faggot. I have cooldowns.
Holy Avenger. Aura Mastery. Spirit Bend.
That made my tip wet.
That's thick.
It's close.
That made my tip wet.
Beware.
This will be re-
How's your name, Dr. Phil?
I don't know. I like it. Like, who wouldn't want to be Doctor?
Beware.
Gonna run
Reaping.
through it.
Yo, Reaping.
Alright, well, we're fine.
Wave of decay.
Aim to pull it, but I think we're
Wave of decay.
watch your toes pop.
Wave of decay. 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 Holy Avenger. Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Wave of decay.
Gotcha, shadow thing.
I was tanking one of those sludge dude.
My bad. Yeah, I was holding Avatar for when the bolt got here. I'm pulling 3 or 4. 3. Got the
Wave of
lash.
decay. Decaying mind. Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Decaying mind. Wave of decay. 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 Wave of decay.
I'll interrupt the lash.
If you get targeted by a blood swimmer, try and keep it in melee, I can CC it.
Stop cast reach. Decaying mind. Wave of decay. Stop cast reach. Decaying mind. Decaying mind. Wave of decay.
Got the lash.
Stop cast reach. Decaying mind. Spirit land. Stop cast reach. Decaying mind.
I'm looking for a team player.
I swapped to the mat.
Decaying mind. Decaying mind.
Beware. Beware.
This dude will pop in.
Wave of decay. Stop cast reach. Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Stop cast reach. Wave of decay.
Comes through.
Wave of decay.
Lash. Waste the mines. Nice, huh?
Decaying mind.
Interrupt. Nice, thanks. I'll get the neck.
Wave of decay.
Beware.
Decaying mind. Wave of decay.
Beware.
Big dick, damn it. Bunton, was that big enough?
Yeah.
You can do
Wave of decay.
got square.
Stop that reach.
That's done.
Stop that reach. Wave of decay. Stop that reach. Stop that reach. Wave of decay. Stop that reach. Wave of decay. Stop that reach. Stop that reach.
Waste.
Stop that reach.
Oh, that nice.
Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Wave of decay.
Let's stun this,
Beware.
bro.
Wave of decay.
Beware.
Wave of decay.
We doing
Wave
skellies
of
after.
decay.
Yeah, we got time to kill. It'll reap us and all.
Wave of decay. Wave of decay. Wicked frenzy.
Get the death. I won't have avatar for reaping, so I'll need like MDs or tricks.
Tricks on the count for 10.
Hiding. That I heard. I got cooled in. Almost got avatar up.
Rise, fallen one.
Time to get it up in a second. We're gonna go ape shit here. I'll rallying the first one. Going in 3.
Indigestion.
Pop these and we can tunnel.
Or an R3. Spirit Band.
We did it. That wasn't so bad. Bunton, we did it.
We did it.
We did it. Yay! we
I got
did it.
first after your. Got the left guys in it.
Raise dead. Withering curse.
My first down. With volley if it has one.
Wicked frenzy. Shadow bolt falling. Raise dead. Raise dead. Wicked frenzy. Wicked frenzy.
Some distance. They're about to do their spell. Just okay. Yeah, I'll interrupt the left one first.
It's
What
also
manner
reaping
of
after.
creature is this? It must not be allowed to reach the surface. Destroy it now!
I'll get started.
Shadow bolt
Cast.
falling. Spirit Band. Summon Spirit Drain Totem. Shadow bolt falling. Summon Spirit Drain Totem. Withering curse.
I'm having an interrupt for this.
Or an
I'm
R3.
gonna go for that.
Summon Spirit Drain
Beware.
Shadow bolt
Turn
falling.
down.
Shadow bolt falling. Summon Spirit Drain Totem. Spirit Band.
Rise, fallen one.
Glad you said that. It's going in 3.
Boundless Rock.
Just let me know if you clear so I can have to spell ready.
Yeah, I'll let you know. We've got a bunch of immunity cleared.
Holy Event. Targeted. Volatile Pod. Shockwave. Spirit Band.
I'm gonna clear now.
Alright. 20 minutes.
Targeted.
Beware.
Self-destruct
Beware.
harvest. Volatile pods. Boundless rot. Targeted.
Avenging Rod.
Beware.
Shockwave.
Spirit Bend.
Volatile pods.
Dispatch.
Targeted. Shockwave.
Beware.
Pop into you.
Self-destruct
Beware.
harvest. Volatile pods. Boundless rot.
Holy Avenger.
This boy is tough.
Beware.
Shockwave. Volatile pods.
Good job. That was a little tough.
Big boy.
I have
Go
never
watch the
seen
tentacle.
this form of corruption before. If this spreads to the
Beware.
surface, we will not be able to contain it.
Abyssal reach.
Beware.
It's looking good on time.
Abyssal reach.
Hunton was like, we're not gonna time it.
Fucking bunt.
Like, we don't even have a
Beware.
chance.
Not
She's
that we
like-
got that holy shock DPS or whatever the fuck she was doing that other day.
She's a thick
I still have it.
Hunton's a thick
That's still a
girl.
thing. Yeah, well, like, what is is that a trinket or something? What the fuck?
No, just me.
You've just been holding out this whole expansion.
Yeah,
Just been thick.
I've just
She's-
I've been having to heal.
Now that I got that opulence trinket, she gets little windows to actually DPS. Nerfs my DPS a tiny bit, but ups hers a lot, so it's worth it.
I mean, we could calibrate it to where it's like, if you save CDs for single target, I can pump out single target, but you win. I mean,
Doesn't that
most
have
of the
to
time it's
talk
trapped.
more and stuff. Oh,
Shadow
Ugh.
fallen.
Great, you just made me throw up a Skittle in my mouth.
you made milk come out of my nose, and I don't even drink milk. Shit. Not a cooldown.
Wicked frenzy.
What?
Raise dead.
Right
Raise
now.
dead.
Blindly walked in and was like, oh, no avatar. Nice. We're solid. Want to stealth?
2.3. Yeah.
I don't know. Count your thickness up.
3, 2, 1. Go.
Shroud.
Planetary infection.
Maddening
Beware.
gaze. Abyssal reach.
Alright, really watch out.
Abyssal reach.
Beware.
Maddening, watch out.
Beware.
Maddening on the
Abyssal
other
reach.
side.
reach. Maddening
Beware.
gaze.
Maddening.
Abyssal reach.
Beware.
Watch out, double net.
Abyssal reach.
We can outrange us, right, bitters?
Oh, apparently, because I would have just got hit by that one.
Yeah.
It was like real close to borderline though.
Abyssal reach.
Beware.
Abyssal reach.
Fight them down.
Rise, fallen one. Containment priority 1.
I can take care of most of them. I'm gonna like move them and turn them towards where the orbs come from, so my collapse, so you guys can just tunnel. Going in 3.
Beware.
It's probably finally.
Beware.
Probably won't need any more heals as long as I get through all the. You guys watch out.
Kindred blood.
Up out soon, it's cool.
Beware.
We have battle res options in case.
I have one.
Beware.
Buntan, I needed something. Give me a quick. No, our one option. Buntan, you didn't heal too well there. I don't think we got this. Yeah, he hasn't spawned out. It's Fane if you can.
Kindred blood.
Nice. Oh, completion it is. Yeah, we all, or the majority sat below 10% for like over 20 seconds there.
That one wave spawned like weird and like ended
Everybody got
4 stacks on
slash?
everyone here.
Yeah,
Not stuff.
most. Oh, I don't think we can skip, can we?
He didn't.
No.
Shroud?
I don't have Shroud.
It's not
Well, I'm invising through, so if Quentin wants to run
yeah, if you
through
want to
and die.
invis, go for it. Bunton. Yeah, most healers, Bunton, on keys of that level, you don't stand with the group, like, so you don't have to move that much. You can actually heal. I'm gonna have to die and get a res. Or reroll Druid, and you can heal that easily. Yeah, this time don't stand with a stack of people. Like, that way you don't have to run through a patch. Like, giant patch. If you guys can lay off of killing the orbs, like I didn't get to kill any of them. Like it will help her out a ton. Just focus on the boss only. Damn, we were so close to timing it.
Spirit bend.
So where am I supposed to stand?
Not in the stack. Like you don't want to have to really have to focus yourself on heals. Like I don't know. I've watched a really good Pally do 27 or 22 or, and the group would stack, and she'd always be like off to the side or he going in 3. Like you just take necessary damage. We don't want to actually all be stacked. It's just so much damage. Right there, virtually no damage when it.
Beware. Cleansing area. Beware. Purge protocols engaged. Purge protocols engaged. Beware. Cleansing area. Beware. Cleansing area.
We just did the fight wrong. This is way easier for her to heal. Like we were taking unnecessary damage.
Contagion detected. Beware. Sanitize. Contagion detected. Sanitize.
Had to run through that shit.
Beware. Cleansing area.
Holy Avenger.
Oh.
Beware. Cleansing area. Infected. Contagion detected. Sanitize. Beware. Purge protocols engaged.
Yeah, see how much easier it is to heal when we're not stacked? Stacking's what killed.
Source.
Fuck that key. At least we'll all start with
Titan brought us
17s
time,
next week.
But
Ugh,
Gahul
gross.
will not stay contained for long. We must gather our forces and stop the rot
Somebody
at
get
its
some.
source.
Oh, there's a fist fell.
Yeah, shame it's not 10 eye levels higher.
The sock. Not much for weapons, right?
No, not really.
Well, at
I
least
think
we
it's
know
a-
we can time it. We just gotta do the fights correctly. Alright, I gotta get Bunton's lock a key. If anyone wants to help, otherwise, good run, guys.
Oh,
Are you sure it is Bunton we're talking about? What are our key options?
I have King's Rest.
Yeah, that.
Times change, and so must the Zandalari.
Got a bunch of fucking islands to do.
On all your characters still?
Just me and my, or not me, my rogue or my warrior.
Dude, all I know is I'm 40% away from being done farming AP. I'm so happy. Happy. Do you want to heal it, Fel? On your druid?
Yeah, I can.
You have Waycrest 15. Ooh. You probably, well, that's Monday. Do you mind lowering it, or are you going to use it, you think?
No, we can lower it. Fine.
Cool. You can get like an
Something
11.
has spooked one of the Brutusos, sending it into a panic. Oh, this chaos is the last thing the city needs. Help the merchants by rescuing the cargo before you get stomped on.
Bunton, flip to your lock. So yeah, that fight stacking, like looking at the first thing, like each one we were taking like over 110-ish K total per person. When we stopped doing that, like some of them we took 0. Like if you stand still and then as soon as you see the projectile leave him, he can move apparently. It doesn't do any damage. Also found out this fucking trick in Temple that's really nice as a Prout Warrior. That first boss, he can shield reflect every other cyclone, and it does like 40% ish of his health.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. Pretty impressive.
You said drop it down to 11.
All right.
What is your business here? Zanzana.
Wait, Chris, no? Not sure what difficulty? Probably. Doesn't really. 10 or 11.
Oh, I didn't know you went
Who's next?
Zandalari troll on that shade.
We will.
Yeah, I've been waiting on that since BFA came out.
I?
Tell me of your travels. Jade Circle.
Is that the only... Well, no, I've seen you play Moonkin now. Never mind. I say, is that the only spec you do?
The war chief orders
I
you
can
to
do
seize
Feral or
control of this
balance.
area
I have
in the
gear for
name of
balance
the
right now, though.
Horde. Use whatever
Nice.
method
What does
you
what
deem
trinkets do you want as
appropriate,
balance?
so long as you are victorious.
Well, so I lucked out. I have a 428 mage fuse with a socket, as well as got the 405 crest out of raid, which is intellect haste. So I just use both of those for resto and for balance. Pretty close to best in slot for both.
Oh yeah, I wanted to show how to do the enable say things for Makatork, but I'll do that after this one. That's the whole reason I installed DBM.
And wait until they buff Feral. Feral's gonna be ridiculous.
So if you have the right traits as Pharaoh, they can be pretty god tier at AoE, like at reaping, but they suck at single target.
Alright, I have time to do it now.
That's only like the complete
Flash
opposite
DBM.
of their design since like ever. They've always
Alright, slash DBM. Battle of Gazarlor. Load add-on. Click the plus. Click Horde, because it's a Horde boss. I Tinker Mekatork. In DBM, you could just click load default options, because it's one of the default options. This one right here, yell with player name when you were affected by tampering. That is the one that will yell your name when you are in a robot. Easy peasy. It also has the other yells, but that's the important. Alright. And then for bigwigs, slash BW. Click raid bosses. Battle Starlore. Here. Drop down High Tinker Mekatork. Roll down. Repeating tampering say. Check that box. Easy peasy. All done. Yeah, that's that for both add-ons. There's also weak auras, but they're built into the boss mods now. So. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
EBM disabled though. I need to remember to do that.
Come on, hit this 3 on the left. No, get them off yet.
No matter. I'm certain we can accommodate them. Ladies, ensure our visitors are made comfortable. As you command, mistress.
Fucking bitters. Too strong. Be a witch.
Severing Serpent. Marking Cleave. Shrapnel Trap. Severing Serpent. Marking Cleave. Shrapnel Trap. Severing Serpent. Marking Cleave. Marking Cleave.
If I can bug these up here again.
I still serve.
Now you want to teleport. Oh. Alright, well, they're coming to it.
Tracking Explosive. Tracking Explosive.
Hug this. There will be a witch that comes in, but
Marking Cleave. Marking Cleave. Marking Cleave.
so maybe it won't. Gorgers of
Dredge. 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 Dredge.
Rise, fallen one.
going down. Seal. So glad I got Victory Rush procs. Didn't realize I still had the dispel thing on me. I was like, uh-oh, when I got down
Yeah,
10 spits.
I was trying to catch her. My dash went quite fast enough.
Have faith in. Kill him as he we can.
Interrupt. Interrupt.
Gorge resort.
Interrupt. Interrupt.
Get a new lock rock lingus.
Interrupt.
Thank you.
Interrupt.
Kill the two dudes. Not bad.
Infected flesh.
Beware.
I have a lot of splash stuff.
We did alright.
Beware. Rise, fallen one. Beware.
Infected thorn.
No!
I got the dot from one of the dudes and couldn't heal fast enough.
Gotcha. They lived. That's all that matters. If you jump down, you can aim for the carpet you want to aggro. Oh, thanks. I don't have Avatar. Give me a sec on that.
Interrupt. Interrupt. Rush. Interrupt. Rush.
You really blew him there, Phil. Going on 3. Just tunnel boss.
Expulsion. Out. Dodge. Dodge. Dodge.
them if they come in.
Wrong expulsion. Tag. Dodge right. Dodge right. Dodge right.
Where you come from? Is it polite to murder your hostess's servants? On second thought, don't answer that. I can tell by your dull expressions that in your corner of the world, the concept of a home not made of dung is likely new and exciting.
Infected thorn.
Beware.
Infected thorn. Infected thorn. Infected thorn.
Beware.
Infected thorn. Infected thorn.
Beware.
Pull and I'll get the chick and y'all can fight the dogs back here. That way we don't bolster.
Drain soul essence.
Beware.
Splinter spike. Thorn barrage.
Beware.
Splinter spike. Thorn barrage.
Beware.
Splinter spike. Thorn barrage.
Beware.
Going in 3.
Soul harvest. 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 Soul harvest.
Continue to meddle in my affairs and your
I'll pull this pack out to us.
and abhorrent.
Spellbind. Spectral talisman. Spellbind.
Easy. Now I can finally use this. Oh, on this guy.
Mortal desires mean nothing.
I'm
You are
Erlina?
acolytes of the Master now.
Max.
You will save your cause without question. Spirit of defense. The greatest glory is to die in the Master's service.
Oh yeah. Wondering where she is from. The shoulders, or warlock.
Yeah,
Spirit of defense.
it's like T3 or whatever.
Spirit of defense. Spirit of defense. Spirit of defense.
Do you guys know who I am?
Are we what? You're low.
Do you know who I am? I'm from Pandaland.
Oh, I thought that was your inner self.
I mean, we have
Karen
the same
G,
body
right?
type.
Pallid flare. Pallid flare. Pallid flare. Grasping form. Grasping form.
The coming will rule.
Spellbind. Pallid flare.
Cannot hide from me.
Pallid flare. Talisman. Pallid flare. Spellbind. Pallid flare. Spectral talisman.
The power! It's...
Toad flight. Toad flight. Toad flight.
Going in 3. I'll reflect the first one.
Focusing iris.
You belong to me now. You can't attack.
Focusing iris.
You bear the black mark.
Self CD.
Reflect that.
Release the iris
Focusing iris.
for me, sister. The more you struggle, the more you bleed.
You cannot hide from
Give me the iris might curse us. My roots will sprout again.
My rituals.
Oh, dear. It seems you have slaughtered my entire household.
The carnage is dripping through the floorboards.
Do not join me in this
Soaked light.
and my death. Pathetic wretch.
Oh, you're stuck over there for a second. Oh, never mind.
Spirited defense. Soul volley. Warning criminals.
Slay them in the master's name.
Spirited defense. Soul volley. Spirited defense. Spirited defense.
So we can death run and stealth down to the bottom, skip all this trash. I'll get the door for you, Shade, since I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, make sure that life bloom falls. Yep.
Dude, Elle was on her druid, and we were like, yeah, stealth. First, she fucking stealthed and died. And then she stealthed and couldn't find this little cubby to go into. Like, it was really bad. She was on a lot of drugs that night,
Luminous volley.
I believe.
Oh, somebody put me in combat.
Hey, y'all just gotta die. Now I gotta wait for him to come back.
The other druid's here.
Oh, the other dude, that's right.
Watch the. I got it. I'm waiting for the pat. Yep. Shit. I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh no. He's dead.
Yeah, when we do a death skip, everybody just needs to die at the top.
Yeah.
And then if you do res, come away from that broken area, because it almost always pulls the witches at pat.
I blame Neurotica.
Bunton, you have to get your shit together.
First
This
she
is my
steals
life,
my name.
okay?
The coming will rule.
What a constant fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Slay them in the master's name.
Tell you about the one time I got scared of a bag of chips.
What?
I was was like the other night. It was like dark and I turned all the lights off and I forgot that I'd crinkled up a bag of chips. And all of a sudden I hear this like scratchy sound from the kitchen.
God.
It's the ghost of a bag of...
It was real.
Her apartment's haunted.
Yeah, there's some drunk girl that comes home every once in a while and does weird shit. Just try to come home on Saturday and bake cookies. What a loser.
Could be worse.
Getting right tricky.
Well, it could be more trick.
Poor Mordrag. He's looking for love, tricky. 1 and 3.
Wow, he's got to look real hard.
Husband, please
You don't love him?
attend to our guests.
I unfortunately do not. I'll be his friend. That's about it.
1.
No, you won't take it from me.
Putrid vitality.
Beware.
Avoid. 3, 2, 1.
No, you won't take it from me.
Putrid vitality. 3,
Slay
2,
them in the master's
1.
name.
Beware.
Avoid. Spread.
I will never let him go.
Putrid vitality. 3, 2, 1.
Wake Rest is down. Already Wake Rest is down.
Stand. That my nameplates don't stack for whatever reason now since I updated. So I need to fix that. She was not sure.
That's okay, I brought it to you.
Pull these up to it.
I'm gonna try this hacks.
Mortals, you lack foresight. Death cannot be stopped. By destroying Lady Waycrest, you have opened the doorway to your world. Now, your nightmare is just beginning.
We're too late. Wait, who are you?
It doesn't matter who they are. We need their help. Gorak Tool cannot be allowed to cross into our world. Please aid us. If Gorak Tool isn't stopped, his evil will spread across Azeroth.
Rise, fallen one.
Slay them in the master's name.
Should be one straggler up top. We can just run to the end, then it'll show up with us.
Just finding him now.
There's a couple stragglers. and 3.
None will escape my vengeance.
Summon Death Touch Slaver. Dragon Lightning. Alchemical Fire. Summon Dragon Lightning. Dragon Lightning.
Somebody else pick up fire.
Alchemical Fire.
Got it.
Summon Death Touch Slaver.
You doing big deeps? Figured it. No.
Kneel before me. Run while you still
Summon Death Touch Slaver. Dragon Lightning. Alchemical Fire.
So that jewel crafting item makes you a shit ton of money bidders?
Alchemical Fire.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
Summon Dragon Light Slaver.
Cannot hold me.
Good luck. Oh, gloves.
We've done it. Gorak Tol has been banished.
See? There is nothing a strong arm and a sharp steel can't fix.
Thanks for the runs, boys.
Thank you, heroes. You've broken the coven and released us from Gorak Tool's power. We are
What
in
if
your
when you
debt.
tokened, it had a chance to give you a piece of Azurite? That'd be neat. At 400.
Something has spooked one of the Brutusos, sending it into a panic. Oh, this chaos is the last thing the city needs. Help the merchants
be
by
pretty nice.
rescuing the cargo before you get stomped on.
I'm just glad I beat you.
Descendants.
You can't have a warlock beating me.
Yeah, I'm 400 now. I have Azurite pieces that I'm sure have traits that could potentially be useful, but not in Mythic Pluses.
Like. Likely.
Likely story.
Cool. And everyone got their alts done. Shade, do you get all your alts done?
I did, yeah.
Even your pally?
Which lower do you bargain with?
Oh, Pally's got a 15 for the week.
Jeez.
That one sucked too because it was a mother load. Holy shit, does mother load hit hard this week?
And Motherload sucked this week. We did a sale, which we sell that typically pretty easy. We didn't chest it. It was just too much shit to interrupt with one person AFK, and then not an ideal interrupting combo. I think we had a Shadow Priest and crit, and it was like it was in it and crit, and you need like 50 interrupts.
Spirit Link.
Yeah, I hit 120 Sunday. Maybe Saturday. No, last not this past weekend, but the weekend before. So a little over a week. And Pally's almost 900 IO and 398.
Damn.
It's better than me.
Struggles a little bit tanking in Mother Load and in Shrine. Just for the magic damage, but everything else is pretty easy.
Got 1 point for that 18. Oh no, I got it. I'm 1 point away from 1700. Fuck. Get 10 points for the 18. God, 1699. Fuck. That's like such a tease. 1699 Bunsen. That's what you are too.
A tease or 1699?
Oh, you're definitely not a tease, but 1699.
Ah.
I'm gonna jump up the general. Forgot we're in a lock channel.
Alright, everyone. Well, I think that is going to be it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good night.
Bitters, in your stream today, I heard you were, when you were on Opulence, you brought me up in your stream. Were you talking shit?
Trying to remember, like,
I know it happens so often. I'm just kidding.
Maybe he was
I'm
talking
trying to-
so much shit. He has to remember which part.
yeah,
He's like,
I was trying to say
can you
just
be more
opulence.
specific?
Yeah.
Just Opulence?
I don't think I said anything at all. Like, I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, I don't think so.
They say you have the heir of the throne?